What's up, guys? I was trying to think of something nice to say. Hey, guys. I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles, Thursday, the 20th of May, the year of our Lord, 2021. And a nice hand-picked song for you. Yet one more. Oh, no. Yet two more. Yet two more. This is from a different album from Vroom, guys, and we will be chatting. This song is called The Human Machine. So enjoy The Human Machine, courtesy of Vroom. They probably don't know that I'm playing it. Maybe they would disavow Hake, but that's all right. It's a nice song. Hope you like it, and we'll be chatting. Catch this. And let me know if the volume's good. 1 for good volume, 2 for too loud, 3 for turn it up, please. Yeah, Vroom. Vroom, vroom type Vroom. With a V. V-R-O-O-M. I'm reading your chat. I'm reading the live chat on YouTube. The D live chat. I see, I know people are listening on Trovo. Periscope. Oh, let me go and pull up my Periscope. Twitter. Isn't this nice? It's like softer. Softer from the Vroom stuff. Threes, a couple of threes. Some people want it louder. Volume is fine. Music is questionable. Sergio gave a 4 for please mute. So guys, I will be taking your calls. 888-775-3773. I have some interesting stories to talk about. Some callers want to talk about this Israel-Palestine conflict and the history of it. If you want to talk about the USS Liberty, I'm open to talking about the USS Liberty. That was indeed from the Six-Day War, 1967. I think it was June 8th, right? I don't honestly see the big deal. Seems like it's over. Seems like it's done with. As are many things. Over and done with. Get over it type stuff, right? Am I right? Amongst all victim groups. Seriously. Hank, this sounds like Simp circa Survive. What's that mean? Thank you, Rock Climber. Yeah, I like how kind of pathetic this guy sounds in this song. It kind of falls apart. When he sings higher pitched, like it gets quieter to a whisper. Teeny boppers. Hank, as long as song gain is set up the same, just mark the level on the soundboard to return to the same volume. Thank you, Ledge Clinger. Shout out. He is kind of pathetic though. Like, I mean, his lyrics are pathetic. Diminishing the guys, including himself, self-deprecating, worshiping the woman, and then he's a Christian. I will be reading your super chats, guys. Demi Lovato is calling herself they, them. Give me a break. She's a Democrat, a Black Lives Matter supporter, a cringy liberal singer woman. A singer. This man's singing is better than Demi Lovato's singing, just FYI. If only because he's a Christian, even if he's, and male. Okay. And I have, McCloskey is running for Senate. The dude, the male. That's good news. Good news that it's not the woman running for Senate. Isn't this beautiful? This song. And shout out to Asmodor, hosting the Hake Report on Trovo, trovo.live/the Hake Report. Thank you. Appreciate that. I like this part of the song because he's like, you can barely get it out. It's like quiet. He's getting drowned out by his own music. It's like falling apart. It's almost over, guys. Marjorie Taylor Greene said something true, even though she is a female politician. Thank you guys for putting up with that. I will be getting to your calls. Hey, convince Jesse to run for California governor. Huh. Anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. I have a few chats to read. Goo Goo Dolls. What? Goo Goo Dolls? Mo better stand up. Is that what you think this kind of sounds like? Jesse Huerella says, ignore the Israel haters. It's not good to hate. Very true. Very true. Family 53511 said that song was, did he say it was too long or it's just long? It is a long song. Sir Mix-a-Lot is Christian-y music, says Name. I did not know that. Bradley Smith seems to have a frowny face because he's 30 and getting gray in his beard. That means you're getting wise. Used to mean that. Demi is so cringe. Yes, Demi Lovato. I'll play that for you. Or play that against you. Because really, do you really want to hear it? But it's just the usual stuff. It's the usual NPC talk. NPC. Non-player character. And it's not dehumanizing to say, because most people don't think for themselves. In fact, I'm not even sure if there is such a thing as thinking for yourself. Cameron Krantzman says, the lady McCloskey had terrible trigger discipline. Yeah, she had her finger on the trigger. Kind of like that Hispanic guy. I almost said Mexican. I don't know if he was. That Hispanic guy who tried to carjack and he robbed an Asian Lyft/Uber driver in South El Monte. He had his finger on the trigger while he was like punching the guy in the face with what I call the nose of the gun. It's terrible. I like it, Hake, says Chrissy. Thank you, Chrissy. Like a 90s teen movie anthem. Sounds winded, huh? Yeah, that guy. Oh, terrible. There was one more thing that I wanted to touch on. Somebody said something. Trump Support 2021 says about Israel and Israel-Palestine. Israel gave the land back after the Six-Day War out of kindness. Is that true? This guy's singing wears a dress like Jenner. Man, you guys are too harsh. Okay, so guys, quick story on Demi Lovato. Let me go ahead and actually play this clip. I read sometimes the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim. And The Skim is female-run, and it is anti-American. It was recommended to me by a guy who, knowledgeable guy. Knowledgeable about decorating the office. Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. He said, oh, you should get The Skim. The Skim sends you daily emails about news of the day. And so I got it. And sure enough, it's female-run. And it's probably gotten worse over the years since he recommended it to me. But their top thing of their email has a quote. Always shares a quote. And this quote reads, I am proud. And the quote is attributed to this, I guess she's a singer woman. I don't even know what song she sings. Because I only listen to Christian music from 20 years ago, give or take. Demi Lovato coming out as non-binary. As in, she doesn't want to call herself a she or a woman or a her. And doesn't want you calling her that either. So typical controlling woman, huh? Trying to tell you how to see her. Baby, they're not sorry. I guess that's a reference to maybe one of her songs. I don't really know much about this woman. I do know that we did learn a little bit about her in the years past when the Jesse Lee Peterson show had Hollywood updates sometimes. I feel like she was featured in some of the Hollywood Updates stories, because there's always mess coming out of Hollywood. And the Jesse Lee Peterson show did have a Hollywood Updates feature on a weekly basis for some time. And Wikipedia, I went to the Wikipedia page, you know me, such a normie, right? And normie means normal person, doesn't know much, that type of thing. Wikipedia is already using poor grammar with regard to Demi Lovato. Switched all of the she, her pronouns, like she did this and her mom did this or whatever. I don't know if it mentions her mother. They changed, they being Wikipedia, or somebody who edited her Wikipedia page, changed all the pronouns to they and them across the article. So when it's referring to a single person, it's using the word they. That's improper grammar, I will have you know. Am I not right? Grammar Nazis and grammar snobs and grammar knowledgeable people. They is not a good use. It has become more and more custom. Anyway, for a singular person. This is a woman. Anyway, according to Wikipedia, in May of 2021, May 19th specifically, I think, Lovato came out as non-binary via Twitter thread and announced their decision, meaning her decision, to change their gender pronouns to they, them, her gender pronouns. Gender pronouns. Pfft. Say, you know what, here, let me just play this clip for you. It's clip 11. Get it over with, right? This is Demi Lovato, the singer person. Short-haired. Looks, I think she's Italian. And Italian is not a normal white. I will have you know. They're not, I mean, sometimes they're Christians, that's a good thing. Sometimes they're Catholic, which that's okay if they're like conservative Catholics. But many of them are liberals, and they're victim-minded, and that's why we don't, classify them as normal whites. But she has this short hair, and she looks kind of Asian almost, because she's so done up with this makeup stuff, and then she's wearing this weird, light, pale, cloudy blazer thing. Wannabe mannish woman blazer. Listen to her. It's only a minute long or so, less than a minute. This is Demi Lovato calling herself they, them. Listen to this.
Living in the fourth dimension means existing consciously in both time and space. But for me, it means having conversations that transcend the typical discourse. I want to take this moment to share something very personal with you. Over the past year and a half, I've been doing some healing and self-reflective work. And through this work, I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary. With that said, I'll officially be changing my pronouns to they, them. I feel that this best represents the fluidity I feel in my gender expression and allows me to feel most authentic and true to the person I both know I am and still am discovering. I want to make it clear that I'm still learning and coming into myself, and I don't claim to be an expert or a spokesperson. I know this might be a new conversation for many. We'll discuss identity at large, but also take the time to personally reflect on how I came into my truth so that we, like many others, are able to live our lives authentically.
Terrible, huh? Typical, boring, makes your mind go numb, fills up your mind stuff. Your brain gets full after she talks like 2 seconds. Because she just uses these buzzwords, all the same buzzwords. Live my life authentically. And by the way, she's wearing a smile. She was wearing a smile. That's not a happy woman. She spoke at the 2016 Democrat National Convention, by the way. This is who they prop up. This is who they glorify. Sickos, blind people. And she is a mess, a real mess, personally, in her life, or has been. Maybe she's trying to get better, right? They're always trying to get better, groping around in the dark, and then trying to lead everybody else in the same way, supporting Black Lives Matter and GLAAD. She posted this whole long Twitter thread and posted all of these anti-Christian, anti-man, anti-truth, hate groups for you to support. Thank you for the love and support today. Here are a few great organizations and leaders who actively offer education and support. GLAAD, Gay and Lesbian Alliance or Gays and Lesbians Against Defamation is what GLAD used to be. But now they just call themselves GLAD because it's more than just gays and lesbians anymore, right? HRC, Human Rights Campaign, communist. Human rights is a buzzword for communism. And they don't believe in actual human rights. They believe in abortion. Give me a break. Killing babies. Trevor Project, which is this fake thing to justify self-destruction by way of homosexuality, but try to prevent committing suicide, but still prop up the homosexuality part, even though it's self-destructive. And so it's a big mess. It's utter loss. LA LGBT Center. I guess that's Los Angeles. Alok women and Matt and them. Hashtag that. I mean, at them. Are you one of us? Them. Sick. Sick stuff, huh? And she's promoting all this stuff. I don't want to be a spokesperson, she said. Meaning a spokesman. A spokesman is what it is. It's not spokesperson. It's not spokeswoman. It's not spokeswomen. It's spokesmen. Just FYI. Because I'm a stickler for the original stuff, right? Anyway, here's some examples. Oh, she also pushes that mental health mess. Mental health is also another lie. It's an evil communist lie to take you away from religion and God and bring you into having faith in experts who need experts, shrinks who need shrinks, psychologists and psychiatrists who need psychologists and psychiatrists. And it's just a big mess. Blind leading the blind, right? She had suffered from so-called bipolar disorder, and then later they said that that was a misdiagnosis, and then she has ADHD. ADD? Used to be called ADD. Attention Deficit Disorder. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Anorexia nervosa, binge type, meaning she was bulimic. She would binge and purge. She would make herself throw up, probably to keep a figure that she liked. Self-harm. And being bullied when she went to rehab at age 18. What a mess. Was she a Disney star? Yeah? Maybe so. We think so. Kind of like she's even worse maybe than Britney Spears. And she was a disappointment. She can't actually identify it, but she can't. Oh, never mind. Never mind. How come? Never mind. Shout out to everybody. I don't want to get anybody in trouble for your chats, your edgy chats, which is not even edgy, but it's funny. November 1st, 2010, she withdrew from a Jonas Brothers concert tour, entering treatment for physical and emotional issues. It was reported they say they, decided to enter treatment after punching a female dancer, Alex Welch. So she was violent 11 years ago. She said she took 100% full responsibility. Anyway, she almost overdosed, I think in 2018, and just all kinds of mess. Basically had a nervous breakdown and diagnosed with bipolar, and then that was decided. Anyway, used cocaine several times a day, smuggled cocaine onto airplanes. Man, according to her herself. And then don't we have so-called mentally ill people women in the CIA? Yes. And in daughters of lesbians, adoptive daughters, obviously, I think. In the military, it's terrible. Did you see that cartoon of that woman who joined the military after participating in gay pride parades as a little girl because she was raised by two lesbians who weren't even so-called married? Want to be married? Well, anyway, whatever. Sick stuff. Quickly, let me read a few super chats for you guys. I do want to get to my second favorite caller. Actually, Earl from Michigan wants to talk about the history of Israel and Palestine. This should be kind of interesting, maybe. Peter from Periscope gave a super chat late last night or early this morning. Congrats on the new Ford F-150, Hake. Oh my gosh. Let me go to my Instagram. Instagram.com. It's not mine. I should have clarified. I do not have a Ford F-150 Raptor. That was just one that I saw walking around. Let me take the picture of it. Screenshot it. This F-150, it is a nice truck. That is the most popular truck. It might be the most popular vehicle in America. I could be wrong. It's an F-150 Prius. Just kidding. But that's what they call itself. I told you guys when we first started streaming. Oh, man. Let me move this over to the Hake Report. Copy it over for Nick to show. I mean, not Nick, Chris. The board operator. The AV, audio video. Man. Making it happen. Taking the mic sometimes. Yeah, I saw this. I was walking around. I found a nice neighborhood to walk around in. Because, you know, nowadays you have to find a nice neighborhood to walk around in. And this F-150 Raptor, and it advertises big time that it's a F-150 Raptor. I don't know whose it is, but it has a little, what is that thing called? A decal on the back window? If you zoom in on that back windshield window thing, it says, I identify as a Prius. Speaking of Demi Lovato and confusion, this big old truck, gas guzzler truck, says, I identify as a Prius. Very nice. I thought it was cute, so I shared that on my IG. IG for the boomers is short for Instagram. My James Anton Hake account. I also have the Hake Report account, too. I'm so bad. I don't even pay attention to my social media. Hake really desires a Hemi. I'm sleepy, Hake. Not a Ford guy. Those Raptors are junk. Might be. But F-150s aren't they, like, reliable? Supposed to be reliable for a Ford? Is it Raptor or Raptor? It says Raptor on the back. That's not a Raptor, says Danny. Anyway. GM stinks and so does Ford. Yeah, I disagreed with the bailouts. I feel that we should have just left them to die. We are only... Does Hake own a hammer? Yes, I do, Cameron. I feel personally insulted that you would ask such a question. Cameron Krantzman. Henry Ford was a great American, I hear. Yeah, I watched a movie about Ford, I think, as a little kid. Some people say he was not that well liked. Probably to be successful, you have to be pretty tough, though. Trump, too. Many of his employees, some of them love him. Some of the former employees hate him because they are haters. Most people are haters, right? Yeah. So anyway, Peter from Periscope said, congrats on the new Ford F-150, Hake. Thank you, but it's not mine. May you fly your favorite rebel flag on the back and let them Angelinos know what's up. That would be brave / maybe foolhardy. I don't know. If I were Kid Rock, I would be doing it. And I respect Kid Rock for doing that. Based AF, Based America First, gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. 2 eastern Oregon counties voted last year to redraw state boundaries and become part of Idaho. As JLP might say, not Navajo. Idaho. Wow. Yeah, I saw a headline about this from the Epic Times. 5 more counties just voted to do the same. Doubt it will happen, he says. But Oregon should be happy to achieve its progressive utopia without those pesky conservative rubes. Yeah. Based America First, he's on it. I saw this headline from the Epic Times. Oregon counties vote to secede from Oregon and into Idaho. They want to be part of the greater Idaho. And it is quite a picture. Let me show you this headline. It'll take it a little bit. It's a long shot bid, of course. Doubt it'll happen. I agree with Based America First. But several counties now, May 18th, they voted to consider joining the state of Idaho. Break away from the state that has been dominated by politicians and PDX, Portland. Terrible. Oregon, Greater Idaho. I will put that in the folder to show. You can just show it while I read these other super chats once you see it, Chris. Quickly, got to get through these. Some little ethnic child says, those drugs really did a number on Demi's brain, as in Demi Lovato. I remember when she came out as bi. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe that was a Hollywood update. She came out as so-called bisexual. What a mess. So she can, some little ethnic child goes on with another super chat. So she can identify as non-binary, yet she can't identify as a Weight Watchers subscriber? Yeah, that's true. She is chunky, but funky. Here, look, Greater Idaho. Oregon counties vote to secede into Idaho. It's a long shot. Approved measures. Letting officials consider it. And Oregon turns into like a sideways-looking Idaho thing. And even maybe even taking part of Northern California, right? Is that what it looks like it's doing? Yeah. Wow. Imagine. That would be interesting, I guess. It's one way to do it. Really, there are physical things that we can do that are wise and win, and we can be clever and all that stuff. But really, we need a spiritual reawakening. Am I right? Yes, I am right. Let me get to Earl, my second favorite caller in Michigan. How are you doing, Earl?
Hola, buenos dias.
Hey.
Senior James Hake.
Nice to hear from you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think you had William of California and Mays discussing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah, that was a mess. You could barely understand who was talking. They were just going at each other.
Well, William, I hate to say it, but he kept wanting to dominate the conversation. He would tell Mays to wait and let him finish his statement. And then when it was her time to talk, he couldn't. When he disagreed with something she said, he just cut right in.
Yeah, he did. He hasn't called in very often, so he doesn't have the discipline and experience that you and Mays enjoy. So I think he'll probably learn as he gets in more. He'll realize that we gotta keep things orderly, for sure. Because I pretty much lost control once I let those people two talk to each other. Because they don't mind. Those two don't mind talking over each other.
No, and when you tell one to be quiet, the other one interrupts.
Yeah.
So
especially, William was a worse offender for sure.
Yeah, he was the worst offender.
Yeah.
But Mays.
Was he wrong though?
No, he was right on some things.
Yeah.
But to May's credit, she tried to do what was expected, to let him talk and have his say. Yeah. And then you would have to tell him, because he kept interrupting, and let her talk. I know.
We covered that already. I thought you wanted to move on to the history of Israel and Palestine.
Yeah. To give a little context, a little background of that conflict, before 1947, what's called Israel and Palestine was dominated by Palestinians. They were Palestine. It was called Palestine.
Oh, really?
You had a minority of Jewish people that occupied part of Palestine, but the main people in there was Palestinians.
Okay, and it was called Palestine, huh? Hang on, callers. We will get to the rest of you. Hang on, callers. Interesting, Earl. So you're saying that was Palestine. It may not necessarily have been a country, but it was a region called Palestine, occupied by so-called Palestinians and some Israelis, and some, I don't even know if they were called Israelis. What were they called?
Well, they were Jews.
Okay.
Okay, but
all right.
To give even further, you know, in 1945, when the United States and Britain won the war, they were the superpowers, and they established the world order and plus Russia. They decided, you know, how the country would be divided and so forth. And to deal with the Israeli problem, which was they wanted, after they were freed out of concentration camps and other places, they wanted a homeland of their own. And so the Great Britain, along with the United States, you know, the first country that they were going to give them a part of was Uganda. But
they wanted to give them part of Uganda?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they refused that. They wanted maybe a historical place like where Palestine was, where they had historical roots to, and was Israel at one time and so forth. But so the powers that be capitulated without the Palestinians have anything to say about it. And that's basically the conflict, because they had to remove Palestinians off certain land and evict them to make room for the newly, you know, residents of Israelis and Jews. You know what I'm saying? So that created a bitter thing between the Palestinians.
It's funny
and
how it's funny how people can't accept reality, right? Whether it was right or wrong to establish the state or country, same thing, right, of Israel generations ago, people are still holding on to their bitterness about that, right?
Well, they hold
Reminds
on
me of the
because
blacks.
they hold on for they thought they were wrongly treated.
Maybe so.
And and some people just don't let bygones be bygones. Okay,
yeah,
you were wrong, and we're going to accept that, and we're not going to say anything about it. We're going to let you do whatever you want. But well,
you don't let them do whatever they want, but what's done is done.
To speed things up, so, you know, the conflict persisted.
Right.
And it ended up in the Six-Day War in 1967, and the Israelis won, even though the Palestinians had help from regional neighbors, such as, you know, Iran and Egypt and other countries around there.
Yeah.
Israelis defeated them in 6 days. And they took
that was
the
the
land.
Six-Day War in 1967.
Yeah, that was 6 days war.
And that's actually when the USS Liberty incident did happen, when they attacked the USS Liberty. Some say it was on purpose. The official statement is that it was on accident. Anyway, that's a side note.
And then Israeli, because they won the war, they of course, when you win something, you take more land. So they took more land and so forth. But later on, because the conflict persisted, you had the United States have them come to some kind of agreement, the two-state agreement.
Yeah.
I think they had them in Camp David to negotiate a peace settlement that each one will have a state of their own. But so far, the Israelis and who's the prime minister now? What's his name?
Netanyahu? Benjamin Netanyahu.
Netanyahu.
I call him Bibi.
Listen to that two-state proposal. He has been building settlements for Israelis on accepted land that was supposed to be for Palestinians.
Okay.
He's still annexing settlements for Israelis and Jews.
Yeah.
So that's adding to the tensions,
right,
and so forth.
Yeah, there's like 70. There's like 70 Palestinians who, in like 6 houses or something, maybe more than that.
Right.
That they're going to get evicted from 12 houses, maybe.
Right. And because Israel is the regional power there, is nothing that Palestinians can do but accept it and complain.
It's all according to the Israeli law. According to what I read, right? Some Israeli law from the 70s or 90s or something said that they can settle in land that was supposedly originally theirs, but it's going to the Supreme Court or something like that, or some court. And the court does have, some other races, like it has maybe some Muslims and Palestinians on it, but it is an Israeli court that's going to decide whether or not they can get evicted from the houses.
Well,
it's confusing to me. I don't really know or honestly care about it because that's their issue. You know what I mean?
It's funny though to think about it. You have the United States being the mediator,
right,
for both countries, but yeah, they were clearly biased to Israel, and they made it known that they supported Israel.
Right.
Yet the Palestinians still let them negotiate.
Both entities. Palestine isn't officially recognized as a country at this time, right?
Well, they got a part of Palestine, the Golan Heights or something place like over there.
Yeah.
But it's called a Palestine state or something.
Oh.
But
they want to be. They want to be a country.
Yeah. They, of course, when were basically a country. They were promised to be a country anyway.
That was established. Was that established by the United Nations? Because the United Nations became established after World War II, right? And so Israel too was established after World War II. Was it by the United Nations? The League of Nations. Oh, it was by the League of Nations.
All of them agreed to make Israel a state.
That became the UN.
After a while. But after the First World War, they were promised by the Allies, because they helped the Allies defeat Turkey, that the Palestinians would become a state. But that never materialized. But so that's the basic history of Palestinians and so forth conflict, and so you have grievances on both sides, and it's not just one side. But of course, because of our bias and the Christian, roots with Israel,
Christians like Israel. A lot of Christians, especially traditionally in America, at least in my earlier lifetime, Christians supported Israel.
So they don't take a side, a neutral side, and they just pro Israel no matter what. And so the whatever the Palestinians complaint is dismissed. So that's why some people are waking up and saying, if you really look at it fairly, they do have a grievance and so forth.
Well,
because their land was taken
maybe some people are waking up, but most of the people who are all pro-Palestine, I would not classify them as awake. They are Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, and then some of a few of the white nationalist types are like, free Palestine.
Even before,
I think that's just out of bitterness towards the Israel.
Even before they existed, you had nobody representing that would side with the Palestinians. You can cite nobody in the United States that sided with the Palestinians except other Palestinians.
The good old days.
So they had no one to speak of. It was all Israeli. And whatever they wanted,
it was not all
right.
Israeli, because there were. I believe that there's always been some who did not want us involved over there so much.
Well, but I'm saying basically they didn't complain about it and make a big fuss about it. They let bygones, and they stayed out of it.
Well, the problem is they don't actually. These people don't. Most of the people who are on the side of the Palestinians do not actually have any love for the Palestinians. They just are identifying with false victimhood. They are all about victimhood, and that's not love for Palestinians. Give me a break.
Well, that's a debate for another day.
Right.
But I'm gonna let you go.
All right, Earl. Nice talking with you.
Amigos.
All right. Take care.
And auf Wiedersehen, you German Nazi. Adios.
All right. Bye. What a mess. Nice. Why is Israel supporting ISIS? Asks Austin 316. I'm not familiar with that, but I have heard people say that. And I will tell you that I heard that America was supporting ISIS too. Isn't that what President Trump said before he became president, that Obama and Hillary are the co-founders of ISIS because they were supporting what became ISIS? And I think that the precursors to ISIS were the Benghazi attack. And we were giving weapons to them, and it was just a big mess. So maybe Israel was doing the same thing for some reason, because ISIS was mostly killing actually Muslims, not going after the Jews, interestingly enough. And Christians, some Westerners, some one Japanese guy they killed, beheaded him. Interesting. Haven't heard much about ISIS since Trump kind of decimated them. By decimated them, he knocked them down to like 10% of what they were, or maybe even less. Isn't that what decimated means? Root word 10? DNYG says about the Israel war, the 6-day war, defeated them in 6 days, rested on the 7th. Nice. I'll send money to help destroy Islam, no problemo, says Drop Anger 2021. Didn't Israel take over Golan Heights so that they could continue to bomb their other neighbors, Syria? And Syria has a lot of Christians in it. And I hear that there are some Palestinian Christians too. But I don't know. You don't have to take a side, says Asmodor. And I tend to agree with that. You know, I mean, there's a whole lot of evil stuff done in the course of World War II and after World War II. Ill-advised things, such as the United Nations. Some people said, oh, the League of Nations, which was established after World War I, am I right? Just, oh, let's make this never happen again. I think it happened after World War I. They started the League of Nations. And then that didn't work. Let's do the UN, the United Nations. And it's just basically globalist communism, globalist socialism. Give me a break. Let me get to Raymond, a first-time caller in Virginia. Speaking of this Israel thing, he has a response to Earl regarding Israel. Raymond, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I mean, you were talking about the whole globalism, and, you know, Russia actually back in the early 90s actually had a system set up to where they were given free pass and paying for Jews out of Russia to go to Israel.
Oh, okay. That's what Russia had.
Yeah, but
okay.
I mean,
it sounds nice.
Just saying that. Well, you were talking about the whole globalism thing, so that just piqued my curiosity on that one.
Yeah. Russia, they seem to be trying to at least protect their country in Russia.
Evidently, we should be doing the same, my friend.
Yeah. Israel's trying to do it. We should do it too.
And the Palestinians, and I'm sorry for this, but if you throw rockets into my city, I'm kind of going to retaliate.
Right. No, that's true. They're throwing rockets because we're trying to, I say we, you can tell who I'm identifying with, because we're trying to evict the Palestinians. Yeah, anyway.
But anyways, if you look up the whole, like what was after World War II, the whole accord that all the United Nations, but you had made a good point that they changed their name prior to that or after that, actually set aside land, and the Arabs gave land to the Israelites. And they're not a race, it's a religion, but whatever.
What's the Israelites? Religion?
Yes. Yeah.
You said the Arabs gave land to the Israelites before all of this stuff?
No. After World War II.
Oh, after World War II. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of it.
Well, I mean,
if you don't ever
it's
want
a
to
mixture.
watch a great movie, there's with never mind. But Yeah, no, I just thought I'd give my 2 cents.
What was the movie?
Thanks for having
You
me.
got my curiosity now. What was the movie that you were going to recommend?
Oh my goodness! It's,
Is it going to get me banned?
Blue Eyes.
What's that?
No, it's not going to get you banned. Yeah, no, it's not going to get you. It's Paul Newman. Paul Newman did a whole movie about the whole Exorcist. Exorcist. That's not the right word. Anywho.
Okay, Exodus.
Yes, thank you.
That's funny. Like you're as lost as I am. Anyway, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Take
All right.
care.
Love your show.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Raymond.
Yeah. Hats off to Jesse.
Yeah. Agreed.
Amazing.
Yep. Indeed. Take care. Okay. Yeah, there was a headline from the Epic Times. Israel fires at South Lebanon now, too, in response to rocket launches, according to the Israeli military. Bernie Sanders says Benjamin Netanyahu has cultivated an increasingly intolerant and authoritarian type of racist nationalism. Look who's talking, Bernie Sanders. Back at you. He supports Black Lives Matter, scum of the earth. He simped, letting the women... Speaking of, back to here at home, am I right? Yes, please. He let them take over his stage when he was running for office. At that point, I realized this guy's weak, pathetic, and not an honest man at all. Sleepy Biden said to Rashida Tlaib, who is, I believe, Palestinian, but she was, I don't know if she was born in Detroit, but she was a representative from the Detroit area. How's my stream? He said, I admire your intellect. What, is he coming on to her? You are a fighter. That's just kissing up. It's just kissing up. The stream is good. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so I'm going to get back to calls, guys. Let me share with you. Let me know what you think of this, if you think of it at all. This is from Real Clear Politics. It's sharing a Tucker Carlson clip. Tucker Carlson is a Fox News host and a solid guy in general. This is clip 12. McCloskey. Remember the McCloskeys? They held their guns in front of their mansion that they were they're fixing up. They were fixing it up. McCloskey announces Senate run. People are sick of cancel culture, critical race theory, and the big lie of systemic racism. I like how he calls that the big lie, because that's true. Racism, period, is the big lie. One of them. Am I right? Hey, talk about the terror attack on January 6th, 2021. Yeah, I'm going to touch on that. It was a terror attack. It was a peaceful terror attack by putting in this terrible president, fake president, into office. That was the real terror attack of January 6th. Am I right? I think I'm right. But anyway, here is a campaign video shared on the Tucker Carlson show of this St. Louis attorney. What's his first name? McCloskey. His last name is McCloskey. Targeted by the BLM mob in, where was it? Minneapolis, where he was? They broke down his gate into his... Mark McCloskey. Thank God it's not the wife running. St. Louis, okay. St. Louis, Missouri, then. Here he is, announcing his run, and at least is saying nice things. Listen to this and enjoy. I think you'll like it, maybe.
When the angry mob came to destroy my house and kill my family, I took a stand against them. Now I'm asking for the privilege to take that stand for all of us. When the fascist mob came to my door, it woke me up. I saw what the future of America will be if we don't all stand up right now and defend our rights. My name is Mark McCloskey. I will defend the people of Missouri. You have my word. I will never back down.
Nice.
Amazing.
JLP listener confirmed. That was, at the end, that was Tucker Carlson saying, amazing. And indeed, you know, he's talking about speaking up and standing for what's right. I don't know if it's just lip service, this guy actually was not, he claims he was never a Democrat. Some said there was a rumor that he was a lawyer along with his wife. His wife was also a co-lawyer woman, going against cops. I don't know what the truth really is about his background. Jim Eagle says he'll just be another safe, I'm cleaning up the word, safe conservative if he wins. But anyway, yeah, I didn't like the fascist line. He was calling the Antifa Black Lives Matter scumbags fascists. They're more communists, but actually they're evil. Let's just call it evil, because that's what they are, is evil. And these guys, yeah, they spoke in front of the, they spoke to the Republican National, in the National Convention. They had their little speech thing. They got in trouble because they got charged with something from the ridiculous, I think, is the DA of Missouri, right? St. Louis, Missouri. Somebody tried to charge them with something. It was ridiculous. I don't really have high hopes, but, you know, a lot of, I guess it's the time when the evil is running the show, the soft goody type people. Speaking of soft, I have a Joe Rogan clip to play for you. Are just saying stuff that sounds right. Jim Eagle. Her, critical race theory, communists. It's evil. Here's another guy telling something that's true, who you can't really count on to stand on solidly on what's right. But Joe Rogan, I hate to show him because he's a competitor. But on May 13th, he had a podcast. This was a week ago, last Thursday, talking to some guy, some other comedian, right? This is from Real Clear Politics as well. The First shared it on Twitter. The First. Joe Rogan says, we will get to the point where straight white men aren't allowed to talk due to this fake privilege thing. This is clip 13. Here's Joe Rogan. Enjoy.
You can never be woke enough. That's the problem. It keeps going. It keeps going further and further and further down the line. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it will eventually get to straight white men are not allowed to talk.
Right.
Because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced throughout history. It will be, you're not allowed to go outside because so many people were imprisoned for so many years. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, I know.
It really will get there. It's that crazy. You know, we just got to be nice to each other, man. And there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of this weirdness in our culture, and then that becomes their thing. Their thing is calling people out for their privilege, calling people out for their position.
What a mess. He's right, though. I mean, he is right that there's no bottom to how low these people are going to go. They would love people. They celebrate when anybody that they disagree with dies. These scumbags. If you go on Twitter, they celebrated when stretching again. They celebrated when Scalise, was it Scalise? No, not Scalise. Scalia died. They're always hoping for Justice Clarence Thomas to die. They want Trump to die. Yeah, just be nice. We just have to be nice. Chris says, this is your brain on drugs. That guy takes drugs like on air. Talk about no shame, right? But, yeah, he gets, anyway. What a terrible mess. But he's right that they're not going to stop. And I don't like the term woke. It's dumb. It's asleep. It's dead inside. This retarded people of color silenced throughout history narrative is so narrow-minded. Well, he's not agreeing with that, I don't think, but maybe he would be. Maybe he would. He thinks that Obama was a good president and that Clinton was a good president. Give me a break. Sucker. But, again, he's right. They will be like, oh, you can't go outside because you have to be in prison. You have to, you're not allowed to talk. That is true. Very true. Niceness is so overrated, says Burning Orchids. I agree with that. Joe Rogan hunts his own meat, says Burning Orchids. Nice. Joe Rogan is a cringe sellout DMT drug addict. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know that he advertises that DMT stuff. I wouldn't call him a drug addict. Come on. BLM evil? Asks Hamilton. Hamilton? No, last I checked, they don't torture people because of the color of their skin like the KKK. Huh, I didn't know that the KKK tortured people because of the color of their skin. Where did you get that? Is that a reference to that guy who supposedly whistled to a white woman and a couple of guys tortured him? I don't think that those were necessarily KKK members. FYI, Hamilton. And yes, BLM would love to do that. They did torture a white boy. I don't know if it was BLM, it was blacks who believe in the fake racism thing. They hate whites, buddy. And yes, they are evil because they also hate blacks. They hate everybody. Full of hatred. Hamilton, but thank you for the chat. Democrats, Republicans, all one and the same evil, says Robert Carney. Yeah, I mean, at least on paper, Republicans were supposed to have a platform of believing in God, believing in family, believing in the country. At least that's what I thought. Maybe not, but that's what I thought that they were supposed to be about. So it's really the Rhino Party, if I'm right, that's what the platform at least used to be about. So I slightly disagree, but yeah. That's why I'm not really into all the terms like, I mean, I do mention communism a lot, but really it's just evil. Oh, they'd call it fascist, racist, all that stuff. No, it's just evil or good. And most of the time, people who are called racist are just telling the truth or being right. I will not forget, says Cameron Krantzman, the Tucker betrayal of killing the Hunter Biden story. Did he kill the Hunter Biden story? I thought it was the election story pushed by that lady, who's a true lady, by the way. I don't consider her, to this day, I do not consider her a nutcase. To this day, I do not consider the great Sidney Powell a nutcase at all. I don't know if she was wrong or she was right, because it has never really been, we've never really been able to see the evidence either way. What Sidney Powell did. And Tucker did he questioned Sidney Powell because she didn't want to come on his show. Anyway, maybe that's the story that he killed. That maybe you're confused, because I don't think he killed the Hunter Biden story, but I could be wrong. When you get someone respected on the right, they can make a story go away by playing along with the left, says Cameron. That's true, that's true. But I think Tucker is for America. He is an American. I consider him an American. Luis Bootsy says, how do you pronounce that word, that name? Bootsy, Butsy, Bootsy. Louis says, evil is live reversed. Devil is lived. Thank you. That's deep, man. Or is it? We're already there, says Subian Not, regarding what they're doing to white men. Joe Rogan is so cringe, says Drop Anger 2021. Tucker is just building credibility to wield against an important story when the time is right. That's what I learned. Don't jump to conclusions about the guy just because you disagreed with one move or other. Don't jump to conclusions, I say. You know, speaking of this January 6th madness, I will be getting to Marjorie Greene. We are at the top of the hour. I didn't realize that we were already at the top of the hour. Tucker is always talking about class. Is he a commie? Says Jim Eagle. Yeah, I know. Some people say he's Dylon, I think, said that he's practically a National Socialist. Anyway, I will be getting to Marjorie Greene. I call her Marjorie Greene, not Marjorie Taylor Greene. And more of your calls. I have Tony in California, Sergio in Austin, Texas, wants to talk about Ford and Biden. And Christopher in California says you're discriminating against PD people. I'm not sure what that means, PD people, but that sounds like an interesting call, man. Hang tight. I have another song. This is actually my favorite song from Vroom. The soundtrack song. I forget how long this song is. But it shouldn't be too bad. I think you will enjoy it. It is... Oh, it's a 5-minute long song. I'll probably have to cut back in. But we will play the whole song, because I do enjoy it. And I think you might as well, if you like softer songs. But I'm not soft. But, oh, PD, pansexual and demisexual. Okay. Enjoy the soundtrack song, courtesy of Vroom. And I will be right back for the rest of Hour 2. Hang tight.
All the love that you possess could relinquish bitterness, and the warm hand that I hold will protect me from the cold. Your simple take on life could change the world's design. Your optimistic plan could heal my soul again. All the joy you have inside turns my clouds into blue skies, and the sun is shining bright, make my world so bright. We came without a care, but somewhere things went wrong. We came without a care. I'm right where I belong. You smile on your face, easily replace the emptiness in me. Help me to believe. Vision for the blind, broken wings can fly, and we should never leave. Love death cannot keep. All the solace that you give helps me keep my will to live, and I'm glad to stay alive. This world you made right. We came without care, but somewhere things went.
Victory says beta soft Hake. Hake a softie confirmed says Kudo by. Whoa. This is by far my favorite song from Vroom. like it because I think of it as singing to God. I would be mad if I ever found out that this song was actually meant to be sung to a woman, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. I like Sorry Excuse more. This is too slow, says David Flores. Yeah, Sorry Excuse is a good song. That's the first song I played of Vroom Monday morning. Hake, is it right for your Discord to allow promoting homosexuality? No, I do not like that. Attacking people in sexual terms, don't know what that means. Condoning it and viciously attacking those stand up to it. I don't go to my Discord, so hopefully we have some Discord mods who can handle it. Thank you, Viewer USA, if that's true. Viewer USA is usually, I think, a friend of the show.
Into my song. You won't leave me alone.
Don't you love this song? This is terrible, dude. Whoa, are you talking about the song? Doesn't even sound like a real song, says Zubianat. 5 minutes, Hake? 30 seconds. It's almost over, guys. Testosterone injection needed now, says Gladys Kravitz Jr. I'm getting all emotional, says RP. This song reminds me of my boyfriend. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't know that was not a woman talking. He's joking. He's just being a joker. That's Epstein's ghost. Not terrible, not good either, says Evgeny Crosby. Better than rap music, says Donald Crockett. Anyway, guys. Hake has a Discord? LOL. It's Jesse Lee Peterson /Bond Discord, and I have a channel inside of it, or something like that. I don't even know how to work it. Otherwise, I would be taking Discord calls like Ralph. So, let me get to Tony in California. Talking about mess. How are you doing, Tony?
Hey, Hank, how the heck are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Doing great. I understand that there's an investigation going on the great white hope president you love so much, dealing with his taxes and not paying and honoring America, his due diligence of paying his taxes.
They're always just trying to get something on him. They just hate the truth.
Well,
they hate him.
They got him. They got him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, buddy. All right.
You know, because they got his taxes.
Yeah.
They got his documents. And he's going to throw his children under the bus. So he's going to try to wiggle his way about it.
That'd be awesome.
The same way he dodged.
Start with the Kushners.
The same way he dodged for not going into the service. And I understand you dodged it too.
No, I didn't dodge it.
Well, you backed out and you got scared.
Yeah, I backed out. I got scared. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Tony.
Yes.
You don't.
Yes.
I know that you don't buy any of that mess. Trump is a true American.
I buy all of that, bro. I buy all of that because.
Okay.
Trump,
I'm not surprised.
He pro-America.
He loves America. He loves America, but America rejected him, just like Jesus. Jesus loved the people of the world and the Jews, and they rejected him.
Well, when you can prove that Jesus existed, then I might believe you. But the thing is on this is Donald Trump is done. He is done.
That's what they try.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this just reminds me of when early days of the Trump administration. Oh, he's done now. Oh, this is going to topple him.
Well,
Give me a break.
I've never seen a man that had filed bankruptcy 6 times, been married 3 times, got, what do you call it?
Then you haven't seen a man.
Children out of wedlock. And the thing is...
He has children out of wedlock?
Trump do.
He does?
His first one was out of wedlock.
Are you sure?
To check into it, sir. check into it.
No, because
And
you just
also,
say, no, I'm not going to check into anything. Because I'm not that
okay,
interested in that man, other than
I know you're
I
not.
can
I know
plainly
you're not.
see that Trump
I know
is a
you're not.
man.
Well, yeah, he's a man.
Yeah.
And you a Christian, and y'all both equal.
And he's a Christian.
Yeah, I know he's a Christian. And
Tony is dumb, says Phil Starr.
That's why I don't deal with that labor mess, because if he's a Christian, I want to stay far away from being a Christian.
I know that. We all know that. And you sure are far away from being a Christian. You're a dishonest person.
Well, you is too. You is Jesse Lee Peterson.
You is
don't
too.
Let me have to bring, don't let me have to bring up God's dishonesty.
Where do you?
I know.
I want to know where I should stand on the Israel-Palestine conflict. Where do you stand on the Israel-Palestine conflict, Tony?
I have no comment. I don't care nothing but them, because we don't need to be paying.
Okay, so I care. I care then.
Why are we paying
anything
them
Tony
billions
says?
of
You should
dollars
do
a
the
month?
opposite.
Why do we have to pay them billions of dollars and they ain't doing nothing for us?
How do you know?
Every month.
They're spying
Every
on
month.
They're spying on our enemies.
Fine. That's why we got satellites in the sky, sir. We don't need Israel.
No, Israel is spying on our enemies.
Yeah, okay.
They're spying on the enemies of the American people, the American government. That's what I heard.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Israel is spying on America. And
Yeah, I
American
believe
government are the enemy of the American people. Therefore, based? Anyway.
Beta, that's what I got to say.
All right. Nice.
So, hey,
Yeah, I know.
let me ask you another
I know
question.
Asmodor, Israel is spying on us. But hopefully they're spying on our government. Anyway.
How's Joel
That's my
doing,
point.
brother? How's Joel doing?
Boomer Hake. He's doing fine.
You know, since he left the show, y'all show been going downhill, bro. You and Justice.
Oh, all right.
The show. Y'all need to come up with some new concepts and
Okay.
some better music. Because the music you playing this while ago, I almost fell asleep.
Nice.
Why don't you put some rap music or some hip hop music? Put some black music on your show. You always want to.
You are my black music. What's wrong with your phone? You have an Obama phone?
No, I don't have. Obama never had a
all right.
phone. That was George Bush. So stop on the line on that too.
All right, thank
Obama
you.
never came up with the phone.
Thank you, Tony.
Have a good day.
You
Have
too.
a good day.
All right. What a mess. Oh, Brandon M is asking, where is my money, Tony? That's right, because Brandon M named where the bones are buried of the saints or something. Tony called in on a slice of watermelon. Hey, putting the blats to sleep. Let me quickly get to Sergio in Austin, Texas. He wants to talk about Ford and Biden. How are you doing, Sergio?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you, James?
Fine, thank you.
Good deal, man. Hey, so this kind of also ties into the Israel thing. Ford Motor Company just released their or announcement about their new electric vehicle, their electric truck last night, and the CEO or president or whatever he is was talking about Biden taking the first lap in that truck.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the video where he's actually doing the drive, though?
I caught part of the video. He acted like he was driving off, but didn't he wasn't it like a driver training vehicle that had steering wheel on both sides?
There was a secondary control system on the passenger side. But I don't know if you heard or not, one of the reporters asked him for an update or his thoughts on the current Israel situation going on. And he said he didn't want to comment unless she was asking from in front of the truck as he took off. So he basically just said, I'll run you over.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so I recommend going and looking at that video. But, yeah, my main point was he probably wasn't even driving the truck, at least from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took off a lot faster than his brain can process, I think. Just my personal opinion here.
He told the
Not
reporter to get in
verified.
front of the truck. There's something I
Yeah.
can get behind. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, but hey, you should not get an F-150 Raptor, by the way. Get an F-250. They're much more fun. I just traded up.
Okay.
And I'm loving it.
All right. Appreciate the tip, man. I
right,
wasn't
dude.
even
Have a good
necessarily
week.
thinking of getting a truck, but how about
Hey, you should.
Ford or Toyota?
Man, I might have to go towards a Toyota now because Biden took the first lap in a Ford.
Tacoma
so,
or Tundra?
I'm kind of Tundra. Don't go with the little baby trucks, man. You need something real.
I know, that's funny. I had a Corolla, and then I got another Corolla one time. Anyway, thanks,
We're
man.
actually renting a Corolla right now because we've had so many hailstorms down here. My wife's car got hit, and it's in the shop, and we got a rental Corolla. They're pretty neat. They're actually a nice car, but I feel like I can taste the gum, as I roll over it because I'm so close to it on the road. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty small. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I heard that Toyotas are they made in Tennessee? I heard they're made in America, even though it's a Japanese company.
Well, the Tundras are actually made in San Antonio, which is just like an hour south of me.
Okay.
So, they have a Toyota plant there, so they might actually be more American-made than Fords or any other one.
I heard they can't pull anything. Said Matt living the dream.
But,
But that's not the point of
American-made, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not anymore. That's why you got to go big, get a 3/4 ton or better if you're going to pull anything. But yeah, man, just my personal opinion. Ford's been great. I love the last 2 Ford vehicles we've had. I'm just kind of saddened by the whole Bo Jiden situation and Ford kind of propping him up. But yeah, it is what it is. Everybody's in it for the money, I guess.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sergio. It's good to hear from you.
Absolutely, man. Have a good week.
All right. By the way, you making it to the men's conference this summer?
Oh yeah. VIP ticket, I bought it like a month ago, dude.
Awesome.
The reason I got this truck is because we're going to be doing the RV life thing. So I'm actually driving the whole family down there. So I'll be going to the conference, and then I'll take them to church the next day. I'm really excited, looking forward to it.
Okay. Nice, man. Sounds good, Sergio.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, bud.
Take care. Women's Forum, speaking of, I spoke about the men's conference, which is coming up, annual men's conference. For men only, August 14th in Orlando, Florida, jesseleepeterson.com or rebuildingtheman.com. From there you can find a link to buy your tickets or whatever. Find the hotel, all that stuff. But there is a women's forum tonight. Typically the men's forums are first Thursday of the month. I don't think we had the one this past first Thursday of the month. But women's forums are third Thursday. For the men's forums, they're always a highlight for me. And I think for anybody who goes, they love them. Totally private, not streamed, not recorded. We may take a picture, a group picture. You don't have to be in the picture if you want to be private or something like that. But most people are fine with it. And women's forums, third Thursday, 7 p.m. here at Bondin, L.A. And we are still at our current location, thanks in part to the communist shutdowns, and thanks in part to the fickle landlord, who is not selling it out from under us at this time. Anyway, let me get to Christopher in California, talking about this LGBTIQ mess. How are you doing, Christopher?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Hake?
Doing fine, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm here to admonish you for your discrimination against the PD people.
And what are police department people? Who are the PD people again?
Well, I noticed that every time that you reference human beings, we're speaking about human beings here. You always mention LGBTQIA, but you never mention the PD people.
That is true. And that is pansexual and demisexuals?
That's correct.
I've heard of pan. I forgot about demi.
Yeah, well, if you need me to elaborate on it, I can do that. But shame on you.
Yeah, I know.
Being such a misogynist, racist, homophobe, I don't know.
Well, I am pro-discrimination. I will have you know. Discrimination is a human right.
Oh, so you brandish it. You just
you
scream it from the rooftops. You're happy about that, aren't you?
Yes, I am. But but not so much that I want to get banned on YouTube.
Well,
no, this is not the guy from yesterday, FYI. Christopher did not call yesterday. Heads up. Some people are in the chat were asking.
For those hateful heterosexuals out there, those white males, pansexualism is essentially, as far as I can tell, somebody that just likes to have sex with whoever or whatever they want.
Yeah.
And a demisexual is somebody who only has sex with people that they've developed an emotional connection with.
Oh.
They deserve their own letters too.
Okay. Man.
Me being a cisgendered H person.
What's an H person?
A heterosexual.
Oh, okay.
It's getting ridiculous. I mean,
right.
We're all alphabet people at this point.
Yeah.
But next time you talk about the lesbians, the gays, the bisexuals, transsexuals, intersexuals, and the asexuals, I want you to start including the pansexuals and the demisexuals. Otherwise, I'm offended.
If I remember, I will do it, because far be it from me. Yes, this is Austin 316. This is not Austin 316, but I'm answering Austin 316's question. If I think of it, I will remember that, Christopher. Appreciate that, man.
You know, next time that you just talk about sex, just sing the alphabet song, and then we can include everybody.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a happier world then, won't it?
True. Yeah. How's the stream, guys? Some people hit an F. A couple people hit F. Stream looks fine on my end. 30 frames per second, 3,400 bit rate, kilobytes per second. Seems like it's okay. Anyway, thank you, Christopher. Any comment on the mess that's going on besides that?
Okay, I don't really want to talk about Israel-Palestine because, I'll say this. My only stance on that issue is when they're spending resources fighting each other, they're not fighting against our people.
Yeah.
Our people being white, European, Westmen, call us what you want. Don't call us Caucasian. Goodness sakes, maybe always calls us Caucasian.
I know.
It really bugs me.
Isn't Caucasian only a specific kind of white?
Yeah, and they're like 5,000 miles away from where we came from. They're not our people. They're different people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're Anglos. Like you and me, we're Anglos.
Yeah.
But they don't understand the difference. And it was shown on Jesse's show just before yours. Like they just don't get it. They don't understand that Jews are not the same ethnicity as white people.
Right.
They can't understand it. It just looks white to me. It's just like if you were to ask me.
If you're not black, you're white.
Yeah, if you were to ask me the difference between if I was going to look at a Somalian and an Ethiopian, I wouldn't distinguish between the two. They're just black.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's their thing. And they have the same kind of stance towards us. They can't differentiate between our people. So.
Right.
And I mean, we even have differences between, Welsh and Irish. And
yeah, true.
And that's all in Britain. That's not even Europe. So I don't expect them to understand. And, it is what it is. I don't really care what's going on in Israel and Palestine. I just don't want any more white people to die over there for those people.
Okay.
One side or the other. I don't care. Just leave them to their own devices.
All right.
That's my opinion.
Appreciate it, Christopher. It's good to hear from you again.
All right, brother.
You making it to the men's conference?
Heck no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm an atheist, man. I don't do that. Jesse is not my cup of tea.
All right.
Let's put it that way.
Well, atheists, welcome. But if you don't want to come, wouldn't want you to come against your will. Thanks, man.
Well, is it in Los Angeles or is it in Florida?
Yeah, it's way over in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, then I'm definitely not making it. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
I might visit it if it's in LA because that's not too far from me. But
right.
I'm not across the country to go listen to Jesse. I'm sorry.
All right. Other people are going to be there as well. They're going to have some special guests, but I'm not trying to convince you, man. Take care, Christopher. It's good to hear from you. Take care.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right. Germans are majority Americans, says Donald Crockett. I've heard that. I've heard that there is a big German aspect to Americans. Marie Warner says, Billy Joel playing his piano. Okay, time's up. Hake, you drive a little blue Prius? No, I have never driven a Prius. I one time tried to move a friend's car. I didn't even know how to turn it on. He had to get in and he had to come out and move it for me. Because I don't know. You have to push buttons and all kinds of mess. Hake borrowed Nick's shirt for this one. I guess he's talking about this song that I played. Anyway, guys, here is, the January 6th mess is a big mess. Before I get back to callers, it's a huge mess. Oh, yeah. And speaking of what Tony said, Amador reminds us that the Democrat Attorney General, before she was elected, said she was going to get Trump. Without any evidence or documents, after years of investigations that produce no evidence of criminal activity, they're going after him. He's going down and he's going to throw his children under the bus. That's what Tony was saying about the tax thing. As if Tony loves America that much. Oh, and by the way, I said, is he on an Obama phone? And he said, that was Bush. Get it right. He lied about that, too. Bush instituted the free local landline service. Obama did the cell phones. Thank you, Amador. Between the sources, Amador versus Tony, who are you going to trust? Amador every time. Some Toyotas are in Japan, some in Tennessee, some in Texas, most of them moving to Mexico in terms of the production. Tacomas are already made in Mexico. Richard Hammond says gay and Freemason are the same thing. That's messed up. Probably that one guy who came on the Fallen State who was a Freemason. I think that he would beg to differ, maybe. I would hope. Anyway, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I like to call her Marjorie Greene because Taylor is what she was born. Her father's name was Taylor, but she married a Greene. So she should be Marjorie Greene, kind of like Amy Barrett. It's not Amy Coney Barrett. But I mean, a lot of the people on Facebook keep their last name as their middle name. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. This was shared by The Hill on Twitter. She says the media will use the January 6th commission to smear Trump supporters, and she's right about that. And it's not just the media. It's the Democrats, and it's the rhinos, of which most of the Republican Party is, or are, rhinos. Clip 14, here's Representative Marjorie Greene on the House floor honestly, she's telling the truth, even though she is a woman. Enjoy this from Representative Greene, Congressman Greene, female Congressman Greene.
I do not believe a January 6th commission will achieve any resolution because we have already had our Department of Justice arrest 445 people with 100 more to be arrested soon. There's also reports of people being held for 23 hours in solitary confinement. That should not be happening. These people haven't even had a court date yet. You see, what's going to happen with the January 6th commission is the media is going to use this to smear Trump supporters and President Trump for the next few years and cover up the damage, the real damage that's happening to the people of this country, which is tearing down our economy, ripping our borders wide open, and hurting this country. I yield the remainder of my time.
Right on.
Goes back, balance over time.
Representative Marjorie Greene. She is right about that. They voted yesterday to, they being Congress, or the House of Representatives. Who's representing us? Nobody. Do we have anybody who's representing us? This lady, a little bit. She's trying. But we need a man. A real man. All 217 Democrats in favor, enemies of Americans, and 35 rhino Republicans joined. And Kevin McCarthy is a rhino too, but he opposed it, saying if they're going to study this January 6th so-called attack on the Capitol, which killed no non-Trump supporter, by the way, no non-Trump supporter died as a result of this riot, mostly peaceful protest. It would establish a 10-member commission to investigate facts related to the attack on the Capitol, so-called attack. They can't even get the framing right because it's not an attack. It was not an attack. It was a mostly peaceful protest that was used as a setup. Then there was a riot. There was a little riot. People got animated. The National Commission to Investigate the January 6th Attack on the United States Capitol Complex Act. And they're calling it domestic terrorism. Normally with terrorism, there has to be like some actual violence. There was a little bit of swinging I saw, swinging at officers. One guy allegedly threw a fire extinguisher at cops. That's not good. Killed no one, though. And some guy pepper sprayed or bear sprayed. I think bear spray is not even as harsh as pepper spray. Maybe just more of it. Not even sure. But pepper sprayed some cops. One of the cops later died, but don't know what it really was. They say it was a stroke or natural causes. Ashley Babbitt died, was shot by a cop who, to this day, is unnamed and they will not charge him.
To this day!
A POC cop, no less. Ashley Babbitt having been a white woman, Trump supporter, who got overexcited and tried to jump through a broken indoor window into the speaker's lobby or something like that. Brian Sicknick, rest in peace. He died of natural causes. 2 Capitol officers, I didn't know it was 2. 2 committed suicide afterwards. 1 3 days later. Don't know whether it's at all related, honestly. And 1 7 days later. Or 6 or 7 days later, something like that. White male officers, by the way, I do believe. And white males and cops are under attack. Who knows what the thing was? And the so-called families of these guys who committed suicide are trying to say, this should be considered on-the-job death. No, they killed themselves. That's not good. It's not right. 3 people, those 3 other people, 5 deaths in the immediate aftermath of the incident, right? Not counting those 2 suicides days later. 3 people died outside the Capitol building. 2 of them from natural causes, both men in their 50s, hypertensive atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. I could barely pronounce it. Is that essentially a heart attack or something? The remaining death of a woman in her 30s was from a drug overdose ruled an accident. What a mess. What did anyone think would happen, asks Jim Eagle. You try to get into where the politicians are and you get shot. Duh. Yeah, I mean, there was not much immediate warning for her. I seriously doubt that she had any warning. But it was very ill-advised to go into there. And there is a difference between destroying the common folks community and the arrogant elitist people's community or building or whatever. Not even trying to destroy it, just trying to get in there and be rowdy and express your frustration with the federal government. Because the federal government is not by consent of the governed right now. Really, not really. So they're saying it was a domestic terrorism. And they're ignoring Black Lives Matter, destroying whole communities, businesses, and people, killing, murder. They're just ignoring it. That's why I use the term communism, because usually what they do is they accuse you of what they are, among other things. There's major attacks, and it's not just that stuff. The banks, you know how the banks did this thing with colluding with the government, something like that? Operation Choke Point or something like that? Operation Choke Point? That was an attack on the Second Amendment. Well, now they're doing this same thing in the name of climate mess and diversity mess. LGBTQIA stuff, gender equality, racial equality, or equity. reduce carbon emissions, which some say carbon isn't really the culprit that people pretend that it is with regard to so-called climate change or global warming or next ice age. Businesses seeking financing may soon face a flurry of requirements that will, in effect, determine whether they are woke communists, dead inside, evil, enough to be approved by financial institutions for loans or investment. Well, I mean, build your business slow, I guess. Don't try to get a loan. Don't participate in that usury. The requirements are being presented as goodwill toward the downtrodden and the environment. They're underpinned by totalitarian tendencies, according to several experts on totalitarianism and market economy. This is from the Epoch Times. Many of the biggest names in finance are pushing this fake, evil, radical agenda. Major banks, investment houses, wealth managers. Preferential treatment to sustainable businesses. Give me a break. Reduce carbon emissions. Promote gender equality and racial equity. Companies that don't support carbon reduction will get exclusion and divestment. Discrimination. Per guidelines of the evil socialist globalist United Nations-backed Net Zero Banking Alliance. Central planning. And what recourse do you have when it's centrally planned? You can't appeal to any local official. They say, oh, that's the policy passed down from the world government. Real scientists question the ridiculous, catastrophic climate predictions, which hold a poor track record of ever coming true. Very true. Sick. Anyway. Let me get to my favorite caller. Maze in Dayton, Ohio. Wants to talk about the difference between the races, Caucasian and whatever. Maze, how are you doing?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Yes, there's no. I mean, when people say call you Caucasians, do you get upset?
No.
Because it's on like if you want to do a job application, and when they did the census, it's on there, and then if you want
it usually says white/Caucasian.
No, well, it's still on there, right?
It's on there, but it doesn't mean that we are all Caucasian.
Okay, it's just like when it comes to colored people, Negro people, black people, and African Americans.
It's just your vernacular. It's just your vernacular.
In the same tribe.
I was encouraged. They're not in the same tribe. It's not in the same tribe.
What I said when you say colored, Negro, black, African American, still in the same. Talking about the same people.
Right.
Same tribe.
So-called.
Because you
actually, colored. They're trying to say people of color is anybody who's not white. So now, did you know that?
Look at your birth, no, you have to go by what these people.
That's what they're talking about when they say POCs. They're saying Asians, Hispanics, American Indians, Muslims, and blacks. It's not POC. People of color doesn't mean just blacks anymore. Did you know that?
I'm saying what your birth certificate said for these people in this country that put your...
Birth certificates are fake news. They're changing birth certificates now.
Really?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're changing it.
They're doing it.
Oh, yeah. They're saying, oh, this is a they, them.
Yeah, whatever.
Or this is an it.
So now you're trying to give them a name. You're trying to give them initials instead of names. Here we go again in another century. We're trying to change stuff and make it different, but it's still the same thing. And then again, I wanted to talk to you about this. You always, when you talk about history, you say, why you got to go all the way back there to history, and those people are not alive. So what you think about that 107-year-old lady that was speaking to the Congress yesterday?
I didn't hear about it. I didn't hear about it.
Well, you need to take a look.
107-year-old lady?
Yeah, she's 107, Wall Street.
I think women should be quiet.
Oh, of course. I'm quite sure you do.
Yeah.
If your mother would have been quiet, you wouldn't have been here. And I want to talk about Adam and Eve whenever I get the opportunity, because y'all confused about Adam and Eve, the reason why you hate women.
I don't hate women.
You want me to go there and explain that one to you, too?
Whatever.
And what it's not about an apple.
I think you just hate men.
It's not about an apple and a serpent. It was about Adam and Eve.
No, it was not an apple. It was a fruit.
No, it's a woman. It's not a fruit. It's not even nothing that you have to eat. It's not a fruit.
It's a fruit.
That's where you're confused about that, too.
It's a fruit.
If it was a fruit, why were they talking about Adam and Eve walking through the garden with no clothes on? And
whatever, man.
I
have a caller who wants to talk to you.
Whatever.
Zach,
but anyway.
Zach in Columbus, Ohio wants to talk to you.
That rhythm baby, please.
You want to talk to him?
Sure, if he don't get his feelings hurt.
Wow. So what if he gets his feelings hurt? You don't want to talk to him if he gets his feelings hurt?
I know he's a child and don't understand. He's just walking around. Go ahead.
All right. Here's Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hake, how are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Maze, I'm not going to get my feelings hurt, first of all. You used to be the one that's worried about that. But why are you so obsessed with white people? That's my question. You're so obsessed with the white stuff, putting down white people, putting down the people who made America.
Really?
Yes.
That's just why I say you don't know nothing. You need to go back and research.
Maybe you don't know yourself, Maze.
I do know.
You don't know yourself.
Oh, well, now when did they?
Because you do hate white people.
Dang, Zach's supposed to be talking to me. Zach, when did they do all this? That's what I like to know.
At the beginning of
when
America,
did the Caucasians do all of this?
If it wasn't for white people, you wouldn't be here.
Really?
White Christians.
Really? I thought it was Adam and
America. What, Maze?
You say?
She thought it was Adam and Eve who made America and brought
made
the
this
blacks
girl.
here.
So what are you talking about? You here talking about black people and one for Caucasians. That's your problem. If it wasn't for black people making $0, building this country, and who was sitting down while they were doing that? Since you want to know, who was sitting down while they were doing that?
It wasn't all white people.
Who was sitting down?
Exactly. This is going.
You just had a master over somebody that was doing something and not getting paid.
One at a time, Maze.
Maze, you cannot go a day without talking about white people. I want you to call into
and you can't go a day without talking about black people with nothing good to come out to say. And you a biracial child, as you say. Yeah. I have those in my family too.
Okay.
So what you got to say? But they don't think like you.
You are obsessed with
they don't think like you. They don't hate black people. And they don't hate white people. They have a love for both sides. And if you got to that point, you start walking around with this ignorant stuff that's coming out of your mouth. Always about black people this, black people that, but that you don't like. When people saying stuff you want to hear, you're happy. But if people tell you stuff you don't want to hear, what your mama should have did for you while you were growing up, that's what you.
Wait, Maze, I got a question. Another question.
Because I'm around black people, white people, all kind of people. That's
and you hate them all.
Yeah, if you say so, James. Y'all hate because y'all don't understand. Once you understand
Maze,
people,
you wouldn't
feel the way you do. Now, what else you got to say,
Zach?
Do black lives matter to you?
17 years old, don't know nothing,
16.
and you haven't seen the world.
Well, actually, I'm 16.
Now, how many different friends you got?
16, Maze, 16.
Well, 16. I thought he was 17. But how many friends outside of your circle that you have that's not black? Not white.
Did you know that Zach is black?
Did you understand? What?
Did you know that Zach is black?
I don't care if he's purple. I'm asking him a question.
Did you know? Answer the question, Maze. Did you know?
I heard him say he was.
All right. I don't think Zach said that he is black.
He said that he was mixed. That's what he said.
I would never claim to be like all into the black stuff and be black.
We don't need you to be in all the black stuff. You need to be in all of the stuff.
One at a time, Maze. You don't listen, woman.
This is your problem, Maze. This is your problem. Like I said, you can't go a day without degrading white people, the people who made you, who made America great, and then also, do Black Lives Matter? Maze, answer that question first.
Yes, it do, because I'm black and my life don't matter.
So then I'm
hold
black
on,
and
let's
my life
stop here.
doesn't matter to you because
who is the 107-year-old lady that just spoke about? I want you to tell me.
No, I want to hear what Zach responded to your question, your answer to Black Lives Matter. I want to hear Zach's. I want to hear Zach's follow-up because his question was a setup. What was the setup, Zach?
Yeah. My life doesn't matter to you then, Maze, because you hate
your life doesn't
you say Black Lives Matter, and I'm half black, which means that my life doesn't matter to you.
Well, that's your problem.
You're a joke, Maze. You hate people. You hate white people.
Just in your psychic mind that I hate people. I tell you, I got.
It's in your mind that we hate people, Maze.
I got biracial children in my family.
That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing.
And I treat them just like I do the ones that's not. So you messed up in the head. Walking around here talking about
I know, but you're lying about us, and lying is hatred.
You don't know
when you're lying about us and accusing us of hating, you're the one hating.
James, stop trying to help Zach since he's 16. I want him to tell me about that 107-year-old lady that spoke out into Congress yesterday, and what was she asking for, since he needs some history.
Are you even familiar with this, Zach? I'm not.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Well, you want me to tell you why she was there and why she's still here? So she can get what's due to her. Black Wall Street in Oklahoma.
Oh, gosh.
When it
Give
was
me a
blown
break.
Up, she's still alive talking about it. So if she was dead, you wouldn't know. You always tell somebody dead. So if
Give
they
me
took
a
her livelihood and she had nowhere to go,
Cry me a river.
And didn't give her, and didn't even do nothing, just blew them up. They were doing good. They got pictures and everything.
No. It was a race riot. They were fighting each other.
It was no race riot.
Yes, it was. They were fighting each other. There was a guy who was in.
They were fighting
There
each
was a
other.
black guy in jail for alleged rape, and it was a big problem. It was a big problem. There were.
So why did they go in there bomb?
It was the blacks were not just sitting there peaceful,
they were jealous.
and the whites just attacked them. It was a mutual fight.
Really?
Maze.
It was no mutual fight.
Yes, it was.
It was a mutual fight. Why were they bombing them? And then
They bombed him to put the smack down. I don't know if they were
did
right
that
or
all
wrong,
across, they did
but the
this
point
all
is,
across this country. And guess what? And that's what
give
you
me
are,
a
James.
break with your fake victimhood, Maze.
Let me finish.
Get
That's
over
where
it.
you are.
You're
For 97
pathetic.
years. James, can I finish? So you don't like the
You're
truth.
full of
For
hatred,
97 years,
Maze.
they've been trying
All
to get
you
their
are is
land back.
hatred.
I'm asking you and Zach what y'all feel about these
No,
people trying to get
because
their
you
land
don't
back.
answer any questions from Zach, honestly.
No, you're trying to help Zach because he little Britney baby.
Nuh-uh.
Young and dumb.
No,
so
he's
when
not
he get
Britney.
outside his circle
Every
and he
time I ask
know
you a
people,
question,
he wouldn't be walking around talking about what I hate.
Maze, let me talk. Let me talk.
You sound like hate because you feeling nothing.
You had your
You
time
sound
to
like
talk,
hate.
Maze.
But your mother never told you sit your little butt down somewhere and
Okay,
learn something.
Maze.
And you
All right,
talking
Maze.
about going in,
Maze.
you talking about going into the military.
Maze. I put Maze on hold.
Maze, you never let me talk. All you do is ramble on all day. Let me talk for 5 seconds. What was your question towards me? Just ask me the question and I can answer. Let's have a civilized conversation. All I want to know is why you hate white people, and then you can ask me my question and I'll answer.
Okay, Maze, you're on hold right now. Nobody can hear you. I'm gonna let you answer why you hate white people. Go.
If I hated white people.
No, answer why you hate white people.
I don't have to, because you saying I hate white people don't mean nothing to me. I know I've been around white people. You haven't
Why do you
been
hate
around.
them? Why do you hate us?
Why do I hate you?
Yeah, why do you hate white people?
Show me where I showed some hate for you.
When you lied and said that we hate women.
I ain't tried to harm you.
When you said that we hate, when you lied on Bible Go-To Guy and said that he would probably spit on black people because of the way he talks about them, just because he tells the truth about them.
No,
that's hatred. When you're smearing other whites just because they're telling the truth about blacks, you're hating white people, Maze.
Oh, you call the truth to me.
Yeah, so why do you hate white people? Answer the question.
No, I don't hate white people. Why I need to hate them?
No, why do you hate them?
I said I don't hate white people. You gonna make me hate somebody?
Why do you hate them?
Because I understand them. That's why I don't hate them. And I had to change some of them diapers as I was growing up, working for nothing. So do you get it? Help raising them. So that's why I understand you more than you understand yourself. That's why you got a disease and you don't like it. So now, if I hated them, why did I have to help raise some? Now, what does Zach raise? Nothing but his mouth.
Maze,
tell me what I hate.
What are you talking about?
So let me tell you a story about. Let me tell Zach a little short story.
1 minute.
The lady my mother used to work for, she was like babysitting babies in the neighborhood. And they thought she had moved into the neighborhood. She was just walking the baby in the stroller. And the people were saying, oh, some black people have moved in the neighborhood. We got to move out.
And?
So like, and they were friends for life.
And?
They were friends for life. So after we got grown, we went back to visit the lady. And
This is all she remembers. She remembers the
her husband was a preacher.
poor
No.
victimhood. Pathetic. Pathetic, Maze.
Can I finish, James?
Pathetic.
Her husband was a preacher, and we went back to the neighborhood to visit. And them dumb neighbors said the same thing. We were just coming to visit the lady because her and my mother was friends for life. She was her maid, but she still was her friend.
All right.
Maze,
She went to help take care of her. So, Zach, you get yourself together when you talk about hate and stop hating yourself and you can love somebody else. That's your problem. You 16 years old.
No.
And you thought you going into the military.
There's a woman, this is a woman preacher.
You would get thrown out. You wouldn't even make it through basic training.
All right.
Even though if you had been in J. Rock.
Last word for Zach. Zach gets the last
Yeah,
word.
go sit down and take a
Be
brain.
quiet, Maze.
Okay.
Zach, last word.
Maze, all I want
Why
to
did
say
Zach hate?
is
I put Maze on hold.
she's probably still going on right now, too.
Mhm.
But all I got to say to Maze is, well, she didn't answer my question because we all know she hates white people.
Yeah.
And then she told me to get over my anger. I already got over my anger, Maze. That's why I'm not getting angry with you. But you see how angry you're getting with me? You're angry at yourself. And then this story you told about the black person in the
Black Wall Street
stroller or whatever, the story was probably mixed up.
Yep.
But that's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, of course. You too, Hake.
James, as I say, the story's not mixed up. If you have family that was there and you know the history And it's a little
Take care, Zach. He hung up. All right, thank you, Mace. Nice story.
Let me finish. The lady that's 107 tells Zach to look at C-SPAN from yesterday and tell him to check himself and educate his mind because he's lost.
Not impressed.
Y'all don't even know what hate is.
Not impressed.
Once you know better, you do better.
All right. You have a good day.
And you are working on it.
All right.
It's like you have a nice day. You're just 16 and you're lost.
All right.
He needs some help.
Yep.
Before he destroy his soul and his mind. But I want to talk to you about Adam and Eve one day, James.
Yeah, okay, another day.
I got that confused, too.
Sounds good.
Have a good one.
All right. Whew. Tucker Carlson donated on my Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/The Hake Report, and said, thoughts on Tucker Carlson's VIP pass to a well-known pizza parlor. Also, crimson string on wrist, possibly Kabbalah related? Also, look up some of his self-claimed childhood friends. Well, thank you, Tucker Carlson, for telling on Tucker Carlson. Something to look into, I guess, if you're interested. Forever Rochelle gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and said, Tony, my baby! Right on, Forever Rochelle. Thank you for the support, I guess. White flight is white people's fault. I like my property values high, says, I think that was Blazing Hogs who said that. Yeah, give me a break. White flight and all that mess. There's more to the story. More to the story. There was something else I wanted to cover. Oh, these teachers' unions. The teachers' unions, also enemies of America, enemies of children, major donors to the Democrat Party. They hate children. They hate babies. Democrats are for killing babies. Did you know that? They are. And they're also for brainwashing the children, so they're anti-child. Teachers' unions. It's a fact. So they were in charge of, or they had a big say in the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And listen to what this woman says about Trump. Trump. Randy Weingarten. Before I get back to calls, I have Ian, and first-time caller in New York, with an interesting question. I'm not sure if it's something new. Randy Weingarten, Randy with an I, is a female so-called president of the American Federation of Teachers, the second largest teachers union in the country. And basically, the CDC talked to the two teachers unions and also a bunch of other people. Trump prevented it, though. Listen to this. Some of their stuff was given word for word, by the way. This is normal rulemaking, Randy Weingarten told C-SPAN Washington Journal host Pedro Echevarria. How do you say it? Frankly, this is what every administration used to do, meaning allow them to put in language for rules regarding reopening of schools. Put the so-called teachers unions in charge. Yeah. She said, the problem with the last administration, meaning the Trump administration, is that they didn't do it. Okay, commie. She said, well, she didn't say this. Reportedly, according to, I believe, the New York Post, at least two of the teachers' unions, and anything union, basically enemies of America and enemies of the workers that they pretend to be working for. FYI. They may bribe you with better pay or whatever, and union breaks, but they are your enemies for the most part. Reportedly, at least two of the union's suggestions were adopted almost word for word by the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the government, part of the HHS, right? No, is it Health and Human Services? I don't remember. Into the final draft, including one that says the guidelines could be changed. And you know who's running the CDC? The scared director, Rochelle Walensky. Not a Christian. She's scared. Christians don't have fear. And she pushes the fear of the virus resurgence. That's why she's scared. And she actually said that on spreading fear, sicko. Anyway, one of the suggestions was that guidelines could be changed for areas with high community spread or more contagious variants to the virus, as well as one allowing teachers deemed to be in high-risk conditions to continue working remotely from home or from some island. Remember, some of them have gone to some island. And so she's all, look, Pedro, they asked us for language, and we gave them language when they asked us for it. Nothing nefarious. They have to communicate with those who are actually impacted by their policies, she added. How about the parents? Is there any parents union? Parents union would probably be evil too, by the way. What an evil woman. Sicko. Sick. That's Randy Weingarten talking about the collusion between the CDC and the teachers' unions in order not to reopen the schools. Not that the schools should reopen because the schools are corrupt anyway. These people are brainwashing the children to be evil. Good call, Zach, says Tay Mays. Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's do the treasure chest. I keep on forgetting. DLive.tv/The Hake Report. Let's open the treasure chest, guys. Not that you guys can give me lemons other than when you're already subscribed. Oh. Fake news! I cannot open... Oh, yes, I can. I almost thought that I couldn't open it. Hold on. Let me add it. Oh, my gosh. And it's a decent chest, too. Get on. I'll give you guys a minute to get on over there into the treasure chest. And let me get to Ian, a first-time caller in New York. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so I wanted to share with you that there's this new movement coming out from Africa. It's called the I forgot the name now.
I think I have it written down in the notes. Stingy Men Association. Stingy Men Association.
Yeah. You can get a card. You can be a card member, and they just you don't spend money on women. So
that is interesting. And so they have one for Uganda, Nigeria, and others apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Motto says, "Let me see what I can do." Interesting.
Yes.
I had not heard of it.
Yeah.
This is
Me
from
either. I just heard about it yesterday.
PD Online says the Stingy Men Association is an online craze of men who do not want to spend money on their women, girlfriends, and wives. Members are not supposed to spend money on women. Instead, they're supposed to give excuses like, "Let me see what I can do," or "My M-Pesa," I don't know what that is, has a problem. I guess it's a Stingy Men Association, SMAC. I don't know what the K part stands for.
Me either. I don't know.
Yeah. It started in Zambia on social media after a man named Leonard Muimbe was arrested for allegedly beating his wife after she asked for money to make her hair in November 2020. Wow. He repeatedly told his wife he could not give her the 150 whatever she wanted, but it could only afford a maximum of 10 because he was now a member of the Stingy Men Association of Zambia, SMAZ.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's great.
Okay. They're trying.
All right, man.
Thanks. Appreciate the tip, Ian.
No worries, man.
Good to hear from you.
Take care, man.
All right, you as well. Jesse Lee Peterson has been saying, men, don't be spending, at least not so much money on the women. Taking them on trips. First of all, you shouldn't probably be taking them on trips because shenanigans happen. Not good things. Supposed to stop having sex out of wedlock, right? All that stuff. Don't be worshiping the women. Don't be saying, "I need you like oxygen." Like Vroom did. Cringy. Anyway, guys, tomorrow I will be playing the last 2 Vroom songs for the week and probably for quite some time. I hope you enjoyed Soft Vroom. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for JLP's stuff. You can find the men's conference info there. RebuildingTheMan.com/events for the men's conference as well as tonight's women's forum. Thanks, guys, and take care.